Hi, this is Bob Vineyard with the Georgia Medicare Minute. Let's talk about free Medicare and other lies. We are now in the home stretch for the 2019 Medicare open enrollment. This is November 28th of 2018. And there's plenty of information out there on the radio and in print about all these different options. And one of the things that comes up quite often, and my clients are getting calls from existing carriers, they're getting calls from other agents, they're getting information by mail, bombarded. I've even seen some of these pieces, and it's it's borderline larceny. I mean, basically the way that they're presenting these things. But in any event, let's talk for a few minutes about some of the things that people will say and do in order to entice you to pick up a Medicare Advantage plan. Now, keep in mind, Medicare Advantage plans are great for some people. Some people just absolutely love them, and that's fine. I'm not being critical. It's your plan, it's your money. If you want original Medicare and a supplement plan, I hope you'd allow me to help you. If you want a Medicare Advantage plan, I'll invite you to go somewhere else because I just don't need that kind of drama in my life. So, but let's talk about these Medicare Advantage plans that do not have a premium. Now, I would caution you because if anybody says that it's free, they're actually breaking the rules. Medicare CMS says you can't call them free. You can call them zero premium. You can call them no premium. You can call them $0 plans. I mean, you can call them just about anything you want, but you're not allowed to use that four-letter word FREE. So they are not free. And anybody who's lived as long as you and I have should know there's no such thing as a free lunch. And if somebody is promising you something for free, you know there's a catch in there somewhere. All right, well, let's break this down and look at some of the things that people say when they're pitching the Medicare Advantage plan. They'll say it's no premium. You don't have to pay a thing for it. No monthly premiums. Isn't this great? Well, that part's true. Okay? I'm not going to get into how they do it and so forth in much detail. I've got other videos about this, but the simple matter is anybody who signs up for a Medicare Advantage plan because their benefits are no longer delivered through original Medicare and their claims are not paid by original Medicare, Medicare strokes out a check for about $800 a month. And again, this is in 2018. Medicare strokes out a check for about $800 a month to an insurance carrier and said, okay, you handle their benefits and you pay their claims. And so what the carrier does is they take that money they get from CMS and they come up with a plan that has benefits in their favor, not yours, which means that essentially anytime you talk to a doctor, you see a doctor touches you in any reason, appropriately, of course, we hope, you're going to pay something. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they're performing services and they should be paid. But your Medicare Advantage plan is going to pay very little over and above what you're paying in the way of a copay. So you're essentially funding a significant portion of your claims until you hit the out-of-pocket maximum on these plans, which is, for most of them is $6,700, only applies to in-network approved charges. So, all right, that's the part that's true. You don't have to pay a premium, but the plan isn't going to cost you anything unless you're completely healthy and you never have to have any medical services. One of the things that I heard today, and I've heard it before, but they were talking about Advantage plans and they say you can use any doctor. Well, that part's true too, unless you understand that some doctors are not going to be in the network. So if you have an HMO plan, and about half the Medicare Advantage plans in Georgia are HMO, and you decide that you're going to use a doctor that is not in network, that claim may not be paid. For the most part, if you have an HMO and you use somebody that's not on the approved list, unless it's an emergency situation, your HMO can deny that claim. Now, if you have a PPO, they may go ahead and pay it, but your copay is generally going to be higher because you're not using network providers. So the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say, is yes, you can use any doctor. Just be aware that if you use somebody that's not on their approved list, you're going to pay more. And you can't change the rules. This is, like Judy Benjamin said in the movie, she wanted to join the Army. They had the yachts and the condos. Well, it's not the way it is with the Advantage plan. You're not joining the plan with the yachts and the condos, although it may seem like that the way they're presenting that picture. But the harsh reality is you need to play by their rules if you want your claims paid and you want to minimize your out-of-pocket. Some of them will have a Medicare Part B rebate to where your Medicare Part B premium is little or nothing. Not all the plans do that, but some of them will do that. So, that's nice. You're not only not paying a health insurance premium, but you're also paying little or nothing towards your Medicare Part B. But it all comes with a price. They'll talk about free vision and dental care. And again, for people who have come off of group insurance plans and they probably had dental and vision coverage, they think, well, this is great. It's more free stuff from this nice people at the insurance company. All right, first off, the dental and vision benefits that are offered by Medicare Advantage plans are really on the skinny side, smaller networks than what you've probably been accustomed to. Most likely all you're going to get with most of these plans, if you do use a network provider, is you might get a free cleaning and checkup twice a year, maybe some x-rays and so forth, but everything else is going to cost you. The vision plans, similar thing. Generally, they're going to direct you to a chain optician that also does eye exams, which means you're going to be going to a mall as opposed to your regular optometrist or ophthalmologist. So the free dental and vision may not be what you think it is. They'll talk about free gym memberships, free doctor hotline, free nurse hotline, and that's something somebody told me a few months ago. They said, well, I want a plan with a free doctor hotline like this other plan over here does. They apparently didn't bother to read the fine print because there is no charge for the free doctor plan hotline until you use it. And then when you decide that you're going to call a doctor and get information from them, get them to prescribe a medication for you or something like that, they say, okay, for this consult, we're going to need your credit card and we're going to bill you for the time spent and also writing a prescription. So this free doctor hotline is not so free after all because it's only free until you use it. On and on and on. All these free benefits that, as it turns out, are not really free, or they're not exactly the way you think they are. So just beware. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is, and don't just take the word of the person who's talking to you, whether they work for a carrier or they're an agent. Don't just take their word for it that this is all sunshine and roses or whatever. And one last thing. When you're talking to somebody, whether it's an agent or a carrier, but especially if it's an agent, and after they've painted this glorious picture of how wonderful these Advantage plans are, they may come back and say, oh, by the way, you're going to have some gaps, like if you have to go in the hospital, you're going to have to pay $500, $600 a day. You really need a hospital indemnity plan to pay those co-pays for you. And they may tell you that, well, do you know anybody who has cancer, or have you ever had cancer? Well, it's quite expensive. And this plan will pay for it, but you're going to have a lot of out-of-pocket. You really need a cancer plan in addition to this. Ask yourself, if this Medicare Advantage plan is so great, why do you have to come back and buy additional coverage and pay a premium for it? To fill in the gap, so to speak. Because I thought this thing was really great. Well, it is, but it isn't. So just don't take all this at face value. So that's my story today about the free Medicare that really isn't free and other great lies. You take care. Have a great day. This is Bob Vineyard, Georgia Medicare Minute. See you around.